my FB family. Noli, for example, I don't know how many members he has. You know, if he posts it in his profile, then it will be sent automatically to all the members of his family, etc., etc. So that can run into hundreds of thousands, just like that, in graphic living color. In my case, I have a combination of blog, of email, of YouTube, of Twitter, in order to multiply. Even some articles that I see in online news, I post it in YouTube, in FB, even in my blog and in my Twitter. So it multiplies. So okay, back to 1109. 1109 only had 2 hearings in committee. The first hearing was actually not a public hearing, if you ask me, because they simply moved to have it approved without benefit of debate. And then after that, in fact, it was about number 20 in the agenda, when all of a sudden somebody moved to have it approved for transmittal to plenary. But when it reached the Committee on Rules decided that it cannot be done that way, because they simply pass it on to the committee. They should approve it. The committee should approve it instead of forwarding it to the Committee on Rules for transmittal to plenary. So on the very same day, it went back at 4 p.m. to the Committee on Constitutional Amendments, and right then and there, again without benefit of debate on the substance, it was approved by the committee, and the following day, this was June 2. June 1 was the final transmittal from the Committee on Constitutional Amendments. Then on June 2, it was the first item of the agenda of the June 2 session. The debate started at about 5 o'clock. There were several interpellators. I was second online as Senior Deputy Minority Leader. And then after only about 4 or 5 interpellators, from out of the blue, somebody moved to close the debate. I thought that motion was not going to be taken seriously because there was not ample time to consider the House Resolution 1109, but I was shocked that the motion was approved. So it was stopped right then and there, then it went into voting. When they moved to close the debate, it was only about a little over 4 hours. That's why when I objected and I explained my objection, I mentioned 2 things. I said, why would you consider 4 hours as long? That's only about 2 movies. Why that's only about the time that you would spend in a coffee shop meandering about all kinds of casual things, and then you consider it long. So this was finally approved, so that is now the status. If you ask me, this resolution is going to get nowhere. Why? First of all, those who are proposing this, who are in favor of this, are banking on a favorable ruling from the Supreme Court. They were looking for a justiciable controversy. And they think this is now the justiciable controversy. Within 12 hours, a certain Attorney Lozano filed a petition before the Supreme Court to challenge this, because that would trigger, they hope, the Supreme Court's action. Because if nobody would elevate it to the Supreme Court cannot do anything about it. Even if they read the nastiest things about it in the newspapers, the Supreme Court cannot act on this motu proprio. Somebody will have to file a petition, I think, in my opinion, to make sure that there was a petition. Attorney Lozano came into the picture. But even if a favorable ruling can be obtained from the Supreme Court, which I doubt, even if that ruling will come to pass, and the House will constitute itself into a constituent assembly and go through the motions of proposing amendments, that amendment or those amendments will still need to be submitted to the people in a plebiscite. And to have a plebiscite, the COMELEC will be the one to conduct the plebiscite and no other. It cannot be the office of the president, it cannot be the house, it has to be the COMELEC. And the COMELEC, to conduct a plebiscite, must be ordered by a law, complete with an appropriation provision. Because they have no money, how can they conduct a plebiscite? They'll be spending maybe close to ₱1 billion to conduct a plebiscite. But to have that law passed, then you require the approval of the Senate. And I doubt very much whether the Senate would approve this, considering the genesis of 1109. So now it's in a dead end. I think nothing will come out of this. But I'm happy that we have this kind of a forum, because this is going to accelerate with the speed of light the awareness of people about one, the substance of the issue, and two, the feeling of the people about the issue at hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman Flores. And I'm sure our fellow Facebook addicts here might have some questions for you later. For now, I'd like to ask, and you do have questions?
Yeah,
okay.
We could have a more conversational.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. We could have a more conversational thing. Because I wanted to ask Congressman Flores some things. Considering he's been the Paul Revere of this event, you know, one by land, two by sea. And when we woke up that morning, they were coming by sea, or whatever it was. But, sir, I'd like to ask a number of questions just to help the public understand just exactly what's happened. What we know is that on Tuesday night, the House passed a resolution whose title is House Resolution Number 1109. It is an act of the lower house, is it not? And so, would you explain to us, sir, how it can possibly be that the Supreme Court might rule against this? In other words, is there not, in fact, a rule adopted by the House and the Senate that says whenever proposals to amend the Constitution are made, that they shall be submitted? This is the rule of the House now, as it stands. It has been in place since 1987, from what I understand. That this resolution must now go to the Senate for approval. Am I correct in understanding this? Is the public supposed to understand it that way? That did not the House leadership itself commit on Tuesday night to submit House Resolution number 1109 to the Senate for its concurrence? Did they not make that statement? I heard him say that, the chairman. Sir, if you don't, my question is that...
No, it was not